What is good, guys? It's your boy MC Fire, and
Ice Cube.
yeah, we're bringing you a hot button issue for us today. It's kind of more of a heart to heart kind of thing, you know. We're not on the couch, we're not super upscale. We just want to kind of just talk to you guys and tell you like where we came from and what we think it's going to take for us to kind of get to the next level internally, right? We told you some of the things externally, but our mindset shifts, how we've grown, and why we feel like it's a big deal. So we've got a lot coming. Yeah.
Um, Starting off would be um, coming from a place of like always feeling like I was lacking growing up. Um, like never like yes, my mom uh, did a lot to keep food on the table and make sure that we had stuff. And my dad as well. But it was hard at a time because um, there was a time where we just didn't have it. I had to go to school and like I was in college and I would go to like the pantry that they have where they give out like food donations and things like that for kids that are not able to like they're less fortunate, I would say. Um and from there it was just like I had to go to my parents for everything. But even then, they didn't have a lot to give, so they did their best in giving what they could. But it was still like me having to work a overnight shift from like 11 p.m. to like 6 a.m. and then go to class at like 7:15. So just like not really having a lot of time, to just go out, have fun, spend money. That's where I also get like the habit of being very frugal and not well more like frugal and not wanting to spend things or spend money on things that I actually want just because I never yes I was able to get things like as a kid and just growing up, but it was always okay, we'll use your own money and things like that, it was
Yeah. How did it
yeah.
feel like seeing other kids that were more fortunate than you? Like what ran through your head when you were younger?
Just why why didn't my parents work hard to put us in a situation where we would be able to get whatever we wanted to, like um I don't know, just feel like the the poor kid like we wasn't poor, but
Yeah.
it was just like
It's rough.
it felt like I would be like, why we I don't know, like we had nice things, it just
Did they like make climb your shoes like when you came in? Okay,
no.
you didn't have a bullying like. Okay, good. It's good.
I didn't like name brand stuff that much anyway, really.
Yeah.
um Yeah, we just like went to Rainbow and stuff like that to get her. It was like pretty affordable. Um, and then because
I'm assuming it's like a Skechers,
uh
like a Payless.
some I don't know.
Burlington. But
uh, yeah, that's my point. I guess you
yeah,
can go your point.
yeah. It's just crazy. Like we have like very different. You can give like very different backgrounds, right? And uh, from like the other side of the aisle there, like I guess when I was a younger, I wouldn't really appreciate the things that people did for me. And it's kind of hard for me to say because most people will say they had a troubled background and they had dysfunctional parents. That wasn't the case, right? My parents were still together. We weren't dysfunctional, very functional actually. Um, Definitely wasn't hurting for most things that people, I guess, I took for granted what a lot of people really strive to receive. A lot of times it takes them a long time to get those things. I
Mm.
wasn't I wasn't like a trust fund baby by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely didn't appreciate what people had to sacrifice, the opportunities, the second and third chances, right? Um, and I didn't really understand the cost of that until you get older. You understand what people had to sacrifice and the opportunity cost for them to invest in you, believe in you as an entity, as an individual. I didn't really learn that until I left. The first time I left my house when I went to Murfreesboro, and like the Murfreesboro area, and then later like the Nashville area for a little bit. Knew a lot of friends in Nashville. It was a good time. Um, in the Murfreesboro. So when I moved out, I understood what happens when you're on your own and the cost of things, not just financially, but the cost to like engage and who you engage with and people that are actually going to be there when they say they're going to be there, people that aren't going to try to uh, misuse you or like just take advantage, right? And that was also something I learned from that aspect, was not allowing yourself to you kind of see the forest through the trees and understand that big picture, what somebody had to do to get you an opportunity and believe in you out of, you know, the time of like, 8 billion people. I think that is something to be said about that. And I squandered it a lot of times. I did. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just how it was.
Yeah. I mean, I like what we're talking about because a lot of people can put themselves in different categories where it's like, oh, well, I was given a lot when I was younger, or like growing up, I was able to have a lot, or I wasn't able to have a lot. It was more of having a bigger family, having coming from like a single parent household, or things like that. So uh, not everybody has the same walk, and not everybody's walk is as easy or as difficult as the next person. So to be able to kind of like grasp, like, oh, these people are actual people. They come from like,
Yeah.
you know, um,
Not
some
just something you see on TV.
exactly, yeah, yeah, um, yeah, it's good stuff. So going to the next point that I have, would be um just being cheap and like being frugal, like the difference between the two. So I would get to the point where I said I don't like to spend money, and it's not just like, oh, I don't want to spend the money for that. Sometimes it's like, oh, that's $5 more than I would normally spend it for. So like
Mm.
sometimes I do come across as being cheap, and it was just like because I've learned to do that since I was younger. It was like, okay, well, can I bargain for a different price? Like, why is it so high? Things are always expensive. So um now it's like, okay, look at the triangle. You can only get two sides of that triangle. You can't get all three sides, which the three sides of the triangle is speed, um price, the cost, and then the quality of the product. So if you get quality and speed, you're gonna have to pay the cost for it. Like,
Yeah.
um, it's not gonna be cheap. So being able to understand, if I want something of quality and I want it in a more effective or efficient time, then I would have to pay for it. Not being cheap is not always the best option because you're gonna get the quality of what you pay for.
Yeah. Some people say quality versus quantity, and I'm like, yeah, but it's gonna cost more.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weighing that, and I like that you brought out that triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you think, what I was just thinking about that today, which is crazy. Is I go to the coffee shop, and if I have to wait a long time, I don't tip, right? And people are like, well, why did you say that? They gotta work a job too. But when the way I see it is like she was saying, that like that triangle, that quality, speed, or cost, right? The person that's serving you doesn't, they can't control the cost, right? They can't control The manager sets the prices at. But they can't control the quality of service, and they can definitely control the speed at which they provide that quality. So if you're going to set the cost at minimum, the quality of service has better be top notch and in a reasonable time, right? So I'm glad you. I was thinking about that today. It's weird that you just brought it up. I think it's so cool. We'll be in sync, man. I like it. Kind of pivoting though, from what Q was saying too is, I guess for me like that growing aspect of quality versus is quantity, or not being frugal versus buying something that, not just being frugal, but buying something that has value, like that active versus reactive, that being able to tap into, hey, if I put my energy towards something, I want to get a decent return, right? Throughout my life, I didn't do that, right? I would work these odd and end jobs, didn't understand about savings, didn't understand about investing, didn't understand about, really the biggest thing was leverage. So the biggest transition from for me was understanding that there's four types of leverage out there. And if you haven't seen our video on the four different types of leverage, we made a previous video on that. Definitely check that out. I'm not going to go in detail too much about that, but I will cover what they are, like by name. So you have code, you have media, you have capital, and you have labor. So that comes from Alex Hormozy. Shout out to him. And me understanding that you need to become a master at that, or at minimum apply that in all your financial journey. So when you go to work, right, don't just think of I'm clocking in, clocking out. Think of how can I get the next skill? Because you as a laborer, that skill is your leverage, right? Um, if you get more skills, that means you can do more with less potentially, or for the same amount of time you can output more. So it is its own form of internal leverage, getting new skills and being able to do more with your time. Um, for us, capital, right? You kind of know what we're doing in the markets and learning how to invest. And for media, hey, I mean, what are we doing right now, right? We're tapping into to provide you guys and us like a vlog of kind of our journey here, man. You know, you're here and then you're not, and if you leave something behind for, if not just yourself to reference when you get older, or the people behind you that are looking for something more, somebody to walk with them on their journey, we're here, man. We're here for you guys. And then the last form of leverage is code. And who knows, potentially, what we decide to do with that. We have some ideas in mind. um, we're going to drop that on you guys. So also, one of the biggest mind shifts for me, especially after meeting Q, and then we went down to DR. I'm not sure if you saw the trip, but there was a friend. We made a friend down there. His family is actually in Haiti, but he lives in the DR. And what I really understood, now, granted, we've been in the Navy and I've seen many countries, but what I've understood about going down the DR, and that being in our hemisphere, is that you have a lot that you could appreciate, right? No matter your background, especially if you live here in the United States. um, you know, there's people that are doing a lot worse than you're doing right now. So we decided to sponsor. We decided to sponsor him, and we just every once in a while we just send him money down there, because to you, money might seem like it's I don't know, like the world, or I don't know, like the society, how you guys view it, but for us, it's everything. But for some people, it's literally life, right? I've called them sometimes, and he said, yeah, my family over there is, they might haven't not eaten in like 3-4 days, right? And so the money I send them, it makes a world of difference. um the words can't describe the feeling of knowing that, hey, if I give money, then somebody gets to eat today. That is can't tell you. So learning to appreciate what you do have, being grateful for what you do have, no matter your background, I guarantee you, you owe it to yourself to become the best version of yourself, because there's somebody out there that doesn't get that opportunity. They're fighting for their next meal. I mean that in the most sincerest way that I can express that. I really mean that. You owe it to yourself to at least try to shoot for your dreams. Try to become a better person. Just try, man. Um, if you are not encouraged in our videos, right? Find somebody that you can be encouraged in and follow them to hit that, to be your best version, to be your own hero in your own walk. Don't waste any more time. It's way too valuable, man. It's just way too valuable. Um, you got to do it.
Yep.
You got to do it. So, thank you guys. Thank you guys for tapping in with us on this heart to heart. And this is MC Fire.
And Ice Cube.
We appreciate your time, guys. Peace.